Говорю в англійський канал. 1, 2, 3, як мене чути. 1, 2, 3. Все? Чути? Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody who joined us. My name is Hola Atamanova, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to Ukraine Media Center. Today we have invited you to present the United Information Platform for Missing Persons under special circumstances. So right away, I would like to remind you that the platform is an official portal that was established by the Ministry of Interior of Ukraine for coordination of search of the people who were gone missing under special circumstances, which means during the war. So today we'll discuss its functionality, we'll discuss the target audience and how to use it, and obviously we'll also discuss how efficient this platform is, how efficient is it in improvement of communication between the units, the teams who work on search of the missing persons. So let me introduce our speakers. Joining us in the studio are Mariana Reva, Director of the Communication Department and the Minister of Internal Affairs of Ukraine. Also joining us is Artur Dobroserdov, Commissioner for Missing Persons in Special Circumstances, and Khrystyna Podyriako, Head of the Department for Organization of the Investigation of Crimes Committed in the Armed Conflict Conditions of the main investigative department of the National Police of Ukraine. I want to thank you, first of all, for joining us. So, Mariana, the first question about the portal. First of all, what are its functions? Who can use it? How to use it? And what are the expectations? Thank you. Thank you for supporting this communication so actively, because the work related to the search of the persons who were gone missing under the special circumstances is one of the most important areas of the work of the Ministry of Interior. This topic is a charge of the Commissioner for the Missing Persons in Special Circumstances in the main investigative department of the National Police of Ukraine, as well as expert service of the Ministry of Interior, who directly exercise the identification of the repatriated bodies, which allowed to establish the identity of the persons, to remove them from the list of those gone missing. For us, it was important to arrange communication, first of all, and most of all, with the families of those gone missing, because as we've just started communicating this topic actively, as we started informing the society, we had a problem. We were living in the vacuum of insufficient information. We knew how it worked. We were sharing information in our websites, but when we've started getting requests from the unions of families, when we started talking a lot to the journalists whom we want to thank for covering this topic so actively, we've realized that when it comes to structured information, it doesn't exist. There's a lot of text online. There are some specific websites of organizations and agencies involved in search of the missing persons, but one joint structured information portal which would contain all of the information with a step-by-step procedure for the families of those gone missing just didn't exist. And in March this year, when we had a presentation of the film regarding the identification of the repatriated bodies, the representatives of the unions of families of the missing persons addressed us from the floor with a request, saying that they need a platform. Obviously, understanding their necessity, we've taken our best efforts. We've collected all of the information from all of the agencies, not only from the Ministry of Interior system, but from all of the organizations involved in search of the missing persons, and we created this portal. It was important for us to make it structured, to make it informative and native. We didn't set a task for ourselves to create some beautiful design, because the topic is what's important, and the topic is extremely sensitive. So I would like to ask to put the site on the screen. So it's extremely minimalistic, and we were attempting to make it as clear and transparent as possible. We were trying to do it with no water. As it says, it should have only contained structured and clear information. Let me take a couple of minutes to present the platform itself, so it's clear for everybody how to use it and what are the components of it. You can see the platform description of its mission. Why is it necessary? With a quick access to the menu, here we have the procedures of activities step by step, because as we communicate with the families, as we communicate with the journalists who bring us the stories of the families of the persons gone missing, we were realizing one thing. When people lose touch with their loved ones, it's clear that they get lost. They don't know what are the documents that need to be collected, to where should they apply first, where should they report first. Sometimes they come to one agency and then they are being forwarded to another agency, because this is where they were supposed to go in the first place. So to avoid this situation, to help the people to gather the documents that are needed, to get themselves together, we've set forth this step-by-step instruction. You can see it right here on the screen. First step is to report to the nearest police department. Then there is a list of documents that are required, what to do, and there is also a link to the special note that should be kept with those reporting. Then there are other steps described on how to keep track of the process of search. Then there is a link to the websites of the organizations that support the search. It's not only Ukrainian organizations and agencies involved in this process. Specifically, we have International Commission for Search of the Missing Persons. It's made of two parts. So basically, all of the agencies involved in the process, there are links to their websites. People may proceed by those links and read some useful information that they may need additionally in their specific cases. Another part is about the Commissioner for the Rights of the Persons who gone missing under special circumstances, his authorities, and working links. You can click on them and you can make an appointment for a meeting with the commissioner. Then there is another menu, 12 questions, the most frequently asked questions. We were gathering them case by case, and the office of the commissioner for the persons gone missing provided us with that list of questions, the top 12 questions that are most frequently asked by the families of those gone missing. That's why we were trying to accumulate all that information to make sure people can find answers to their questions immediately. The website is being regularly updated, and when we see that some of the questions from the families is getting pressing, those that are not contained in our list should be added, so people may find quick questions and find out what to do next. And then there is a block of news related to the topic of the search of those gone missing and identification of persons. On top of that, we have a link to the number of the hotline where the reporters and applicants can get any information they need. Also, there is a link report about corruption, because in case of any unlawful or fraudulent activities, all the citizens are supposed to report about such activities so that the families of those gone missing feel themselves protected and relevant agencies can respond to any such activities. So basically, that's the brief description of the website. As you can see, the platform is not complicated. It looks just like one-page website, but it contains all of the information that can be useful for the families. And this is exactly the goal that we set for ourselves, to create this information bridge between the agencies involved in search of the persons gone missing and the families which need information, because frequently the absence of information is what creates additional anxiety in people who are looking for their loved ones. So our priority task is to help the people and to set up the connections so that they feel they're not being left alone, and the relevant agencies are taking their best efforts to find their loved ones. Thank you. Mariana, right away, a question: how to find this website or this portal at the website of the Ministry of Interior. I'm not going to explain it in complicated technical details. This is the part of the website of the Ministry of Interior. So you just Google the Joint Information Platform, or just gone missing ministryofinterior.gov.ua. We wanted to simplify the name so it's easy to remember and it's easy to find in the search engine. Thank you. Mr. Artur, a question to you. To what extent have you been getting requests from the citizens to create such portal? I know that you have a hotline in operation where you receive a lot of reports. Was there really a lot of information that people need that you are going to cover with your portal? Good afternoon, everybody. Well, when it comes to the Joint Information Platform, I think it was discussed since January this year in different forms. Different citizens, the unions of families, they were saying that all that information needs to be unified, and the way it should be shown to the resources where citizens can get familiarized with the functionality of the agencies and to find out what results can they count. And we were hearing similar requests during every our meeting with the civil organizations. We were getting such requests from our representatives in the regions and through the hotline as well. A huge advantage of the system is that it's live. We've undertaken such a responsibility to find and to explain who does what and to provide the working links. There is our procedure. There are procedures set forth by all of the agencies who are involved in search of those missing. We appreciate all their efforts, and we demonstrate where a representative of a missing person family may come to get familiarized with all of the functions, latest news, and to efficiently understand what's going on with the search for the time being. Well, to the best of our understanding, now a lot of agencies are involved in bringing people back. It's really very practical and useful for the people. So I think in your case, what are your expectations of the portal? How can it improve the efficiency of your agency? Well, for us, the task is as follows. This portal is a live system, and there will always be question about the necessity to study something, to explain something in detail, and every single government agency, every single international organization, they populate that database through their official channels. That's why we are going to continue analyzing the most frequently asked questions that we get through our hotline, the questions that are systemic, those that we hear during personal meetings, and we are going to comment this information as soon as possible through the portal. So basically, everybody who is involved in search of those missing can add their actual information in online mode to this portal. Well, they will be able to put information to their websites, and we will be able to present the most urgent messages through this platform. Thank you very much. And now I would like to ask Khrystyna. Khrystyna, we understand that investigators are the persons who are facing every family of those who are looking for their loved ones, their family members, and without those persons, it's difficult to imagine any search and investigation process. On top of that, there are criminal cases and process activities. To what extent this portal is going to improve your work, to help you and to make your work more efficient? Now we understand there's a lot of cases and the investigators have a crazy workload. I mean, this is what they're facing since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. So really, to what extent this tool may improve your work, to improve its efficiency? Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you for invitation. Let me tell you that it's really a positive breakthrough. It will raise awareness of our families, additional awareness, because the investigators of the national police, they start the communication with the investigators of the national police. First, it begins with the report of the family to the nearest police department or police station, and it ends with the procedural resolution on any case, and with the purpose of improvement of communication with the families, understanding those sensitive topics. We've established in every region, in every investigative department of the national police, in the regions, we've created the departments for search of the missing persons, where our investigators work, those who communicate with the families and help them solve different issues. And such platform, it will be as a big contribution and addition to the awareness of the families, which is really important for us. Well, talking about some typical complications in your work that you were facing, maybe you had some cases or typical situations that, thanks to this platform, you will be able to remove or minimize.
I know that this platform has a special tab, National Police. If you click it, you can immediately receive information for the family members, contact phones, electronic addresses, electronic mails. That's where one could find if there are matches with the information that investigator has and they have, so this will also help. Thank you very much for this, dear colleagues. Maybe there are questions. We are ready to give the microphone to the floor, so please. Hello, 1+1 TSN. Please tell me right now, how does it work exactly? If there is a missing person, so a person goes to a police precinct and they apply, submit an application, in which way this platform will help to a separate to a certain person. Yes, you're right, but you see, the truth is that not everyone knows where to go exactly. In practice, we know a lot of stories, we know a lot of cases when there were journalists, when they come to us with different cases, please comment, please tell us the story so we could relay this story to the people. You see, there is a certain step-by-step path that needs to be followed, because sometimes they go to one unit and then they are redirected to the previous unit, and then they are redirected to a third unit, and there is a lot of time getting lost, and a person is lost in paperwork, and a person gets more and more, feels more and more abandoned. So in order for a person, there is a step-by-step instruction, which information needs to be collected before they submit an application, and all this path will be followed by the concrete data. And in this way, we are simplifying the moment of submission of application, the reception of the extract from the register of the person that are missing. And as I said before, the information was disconnected before. We didn't have this certain integrity to the system, and the people had the feeling that the process was disorganized. So right now the process has been organized. It was improved immensely, and everyone in every body, in every government structure already knows what has to be done, what has to be followed, and people will always have a notice, so to speak, if they use the system, what to do and what needs to be addressed. Okay, so there are separate cabinets, online cabinets for users. You know, will there be something like that in this system? Okay, yeah. Let me comment on this one. We don't want to make this platform disconnected, because this was not its purpose. Because if we start creating a personal cabinet for every user, it will only create another system that will be crossing paths with the system in place. Mr. Artur, you could also add something. Yeah, yes. So you see, people are people, and when they are coming for help, it will be now easier to explain to a person who is looking for help that they need to follow this step, and then this step, and then that step. And you see, the personal cabinet, there is already a concept like this that's working on the basis of on the platform, and you can check it yourself if you visit this site. You can you can see how it happens actually. So the purpose of this portal is not to change the algorithm of search, right? But to enhance the systems that are already in place. Isn't that right? So how exactly the package of paperwork has to be prepared, what information has to be collected. And I even saw that in some of the steps there are reference links that are redirecting to the documents, to the blanks of the documents that need to be filled out. Yes, this is exactly how this system is working. We have samples of these applications, examples of these applications. People, whenever they are submitting some kind of application and submitting them to the register, they will appear and will be traceable here. Yes, also here there will be a reference to the separate service that will be aiming at providing different papers required for different governmental bodies to the family members of the missing person. Channel Espresso, please explain how adapted is this resource for searching? Is it convenient enough, and is it dynamically changeable, adaptable? Is it optimized? Is it I'm sorry. Are you asking about a platform or about the register? Probably register. Okay, so the register is not informative. It's closed. Not everybody can access it. The access to the register can only be provided to the family members or to the people who actually applied, submitted an application to the register. This platform is more like generalized information for the family members, and there is a lot of actors that are acting on this scene, and this is why it is very important for investigators to conduct a certain a volume of work before certain information will be available for public. What about the foreigners who are looking for their relatives, who are relatives of those people who volunteered to fight in Ukraine? Will they be able to submit applications about their relatives? We're working right now to translate this site into English language. We're working so that it is useful for all nations that participated in this war. Also, using the help of our international partners, we already translated this site into Spanish. It will soon be publicized. Are there any more questions, please?
Please, so what was the number of the foreigners who were gone missing in action? Well, when it comes to the foreigners and people without nationality, the information about them is being put in the register. Their number is about 300, and it includes both military and civilians. Thank you. We have more questions. Good afternoon, women from territorial defense, and my question is, did I really understand properly the difference between the functionality of this platform and the search center? And the difference is only that the centers contain the albums of the lost bodies, and I also write the letters in the name of Ministry of Interior to coordinate the searches to find my missing relative. Can I get the results of my inquiries in this platform? So when I was submitting them, and what were the responses? Thank you. Well, naturally, the idea of this platform is to provide the way to find information about what can do what, who can do what, and it's not about feedback and information about some specific person who gone missing. To obtain this information, you report to me as the commissioner for the missing persons, and I provide a response based on all of the information that I have collected. When it comes to the specialized centers of the National Police, it's about physical communication directly with the families, where you can fulfill some investigative processual activities, where you may find out about the progress of pre-court investigation, where you may find an investigator who is involved, and a number of other matters that are related to criminal investigation. And let me give another additional comment. I talk to the families on a daily basis, to the families of those gone missing. The first question I'm asking is, where did you get my number? How did you get in touch? And how did you, what was the procedure that you were following? And they send me links to the different procedures, and some of them have obsolete phone numbers, information about the institutions that don't exist anymore. So this platform solves the matter of actual information, where to go, where to report to get proper information. Thank you. Are there any more questions? Well, in your responses, you usually recommend the families to contact the search center in Dnipro. Will there be similar center established in Kiev, not to go to Dnipro? Thank you for your question. Let me comment on it. In the city of Dnipro, so why is the center so big? Because 3 regions are united there, Luhansk, Donetsk, and Dnipro regions. That's exactly why there was such an area allocated, and even the number of investigators who are staying there physically with our colleagues from forensics, also in the city of Kiev, there is a specialized center. However, it's hosted in a smaller premises, but the functionality is the same: communication, phone numbers, emails, investigators. Everything's the same. Thank you. And the last question: is it possible to apply for the checkup in the website? So how many people can be reported on their behalf or on behalf of the civil organization? I don't quite get the question. For what I understand, you're talking about the pictures of those missing in different brigades, so the pictures can be matched with the information published by the Russians. Yes, you can provide this information to me, to the Secretariat of the Commissioner or the National Police. Everybody has a possibility to process them using that kind of software. Mr. Artur, to what extent are you expecting to see the reduction of reports to the hotline, because there is already a clear algorithm, clear procedure to be followed? Do you expect the number of reports to the hotline to be reduced? Well, yes, I expect, but I also expect to see some questions added and commented, because this is what the families may want. Dear friends, do we have any more questions on the floor? If no, then I would like to thank our speakers for explanation of and for this important presentation. And obviously, I would like to thank everybody who joined our broadcast today. I would like to thank everybody who is involved in bringing our missing people back home. And I also want to thank our security and defense forces, thanks to whom we can gather for activities like this. Thanks, everybody, and glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes.